I'm deeply grateful to my dear friend Rab Nasano Gans of Yad La'achim for inviting me to come to speak to all of you about this very important event which is taking place, which is called TuBe'avTogether.com. This year, on Wednesday, August 2nd, 2023, at 10 o'clock New York time, hundreds of thousands of people will get together because that day is Tu B'Av. And we know that Tu B'Av is a very, very special day. The Gemara in Tainis Chavav Amud Beis tells us, Lo hoyu yamim tovim liYisrael kechamisha asa b'Av, and Yom Kippur. These days, Chamisha asa b'Av, the 15th day of Av, and Yom Kippur, were such special days. There was no Yom Tov like it. And that was because the men and the women who needed Shidduchim would get together, and Shidduchim were then made. And so therefore the Yad La'achim organization that feels the pain of Klal Yisroel in Eretz Yisrael and all over the world, they have put together this event so that hundreds of thousands of people will daven for those that need Shidduchim. And the truth is, all of us should watch the video that's going to be live streamed on that day, and all of us should make sure that at 10 o'clock that morning on Wednesday, August 2nd, you have your Tehillims and will be able to say Tehillim together. There's a very famous Gemara in Shabbos Daf Lamed Aleph Amud Aleph, and it tells us that at the end of a person's life, B'shah shemachnisin Adam Ladin, the final day of judgment, we are going to be asked certain questions. One of them is, were we honest in business? Another one was, were we kaveya itim la Torah? Did we set aside time for Torah? Another one is osakta b'pirya v'rivya. The simple meaning is, were you involved in the mitzvah of pirya v'rivya, having children, getting married and having children? But the Marsha says something else. The Marsha says, if it just meant the idea of getting married and having children, it would have said, Kiyamta, Pirya V'Rivya, were you Makayim the mitzvah? But that's not what it says. It says, Osakta, were you involved? And the Marsha says, you know what that means? Did you read Shidduchim? Dahainu, Lahasi Yasaim V'Yasaima. Did you make any effort to help the orphan, the Yasam, and the Yasaima to get married? In other words, to read Shidduchim to them. And I believe what the Marsha is telling us, that there's so many people out there that don't have the network that many people do have. And they need people to read Shidduchim for them. So that's one of the things that we are going to be asked. Osakta b'pirya v'rivya, did you do anything? Now, many of us can read Shidduchim, and on Tu B'Av we should make that commitment of reading Shidduchim for those that we know, the men and the women that need Shidduchim. But even if you can't read Shidduchim, certainly to daven for them. So I want to share with you a beautiful story. We will see what Jews are all about. And this story happened just a few months ago from when I am making this video. Listen to this. Of course, I'm going to change all the names, but we will see something remarkable of who we really are. I have a dear friend, let's call him Rabbi Goldman, Rabbi Leslie Goldman, and he has a camp, a boys' camp. And for the last 3 years, this camp was filled. So what he did was, before this summer, he took an email, he sent an email to all the parents of those children that had come to his camp in the last 3 years. And he said, look, I'm going to open it up to the public. I'm going to take an ad for my camp, but I want to give you the first rights to register because after all, you were loyal to me these past 3 years and you sent your boys to my camp. He could hold 300 in his camp, 220 signed up. Now he had 80 spots left, and he advertised. And within a week or two, it was filled. Now listen to this. What happened was, after it was filled, 2 weeks later, a lady, the wealthiest woman who had sent her son for the last 3 years, now she called up Rabbi Goldman and she said, you know, I would like to register my son. And he said, "Oi, what could I do? I feel terrible. I sent you an email. Why didn't you respond? Now all the slots are taken." She said, "I appreciate that. But we thought, my husband and I thought we were going to be in Eretz Yisrael. So we decided not to register our son, but now our plans changed. So we would like to come to the camp." He said, look, ma'am, I would love to have your son back. He's a wonderful boy, but I will tell you this. I can't renege on anybody's commitment that they made. And if I made a commitment to them, I can't cancel. But I promise you this, because you've been so loyal to me, if anybody cancels, you'll be the first one that I call. She said, that's fine, that's fair. 3 weeks later, somebody did cancel, and Rabbi Golden called this woman. And he said, look, somebody canceled. If you want to send in your deposit, I'll take your son. And that's what she did. She sent in the deposit. But listen to this. Listen to what she said to him. She said, Rabbi Goldman, I want you to know, I'm a very wealthy person. I've always been wealthy, ever since I was a child. We never had to wait for anything. We were always given kadima. We were always given preference because of the money that we had. But the last 3 weeks that I was waiting so that my son should be registered, I suddenly felt anxiety. I felt pain. I felt an unsuredness that maybe I wouldn't be accepted. My son wouldn't get into the camp. And it occurred to me, you know something? I'll bet there's so many other people that go through these terrible feelings. I never experienced that. And now that I did feel that pain, I feel the pain for those people. And if you have anybody in the camp that can't pay the full tuition, I will pay for it. Mika Amcha Yisrael. What does that lady show us? You have to feel the pain of others. All of us that are married, we remember before we got the shidduch, before we got engaged, we felt pain. And many of us felt pain for a long time. We have to feel the pain of those that are looking to get married. Let's daven for them. Let's make a commitment to redt Shidduchim for them. And you know something? If you send in your name, and I'll tell you where to call, I'll repeat the number twice. People are going to Amuka, which is outside Haifa, and that's the cave of Rabbi Yonasan ben Azion. They're going to be davening. They'll daven for all those that submit their names. The number to call is 1-866-923-5224. 1-866-923-5224. Call that number and get your Tilims ready. We're going to say a number of Kapitlach Tilim, and you'll be able to watch that live stream video on that day of Wednesday, August 2nd at 10 o'clock, New York time. It's Tu B'Av. Let's make it a great day, a Yontif, once again, for all who need Shidduchim. Thank you.
What is Tu B'Av together for Shidduchim? Here are all the details, including the 2 live events. Listen to the end. This coming Wednesday, August 2nd, is Tu B'Av, a day of skula to daven for a shidduch, and over 500,000 Jews will be davening for one another for shidduchim, reciting specific kapitlach of Tehillim. At the same time, a minyan of Talmidei Chachamim will be davening in Amuka for all who submit their names through Yad La'achim, and it's absolutely free to submit your names at tubaavtogether.com. There will be 2 live broadcast events. On Tuesday, August 1st at 7:30 p.m., Erev Tu B'Av, there will be a special live event with shidduch tips, inspiration, and musical performances. It will feature inspiring speakers and today's leading music stars. Watch it live at tubaavtogether.com. And on Wednesday, August 2nd, is the great day of Tu B'Av Together. Unite with Jews across the world and participate in the live event beginning 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, as the Tehillim and words of inspiration will be led by today's leading Gedolim and Rabbonim. Tune in all day at tubaavtogether.com. Look, right now, go to tubaavtogether.com to download the Tehillim to be said on Tu B'Av, submit your names for free to Amuka, and watch incredible videos about Tu B'Av Together. Tuesday night and Wednesday morning of Tu B'Av, tune into the live events as you and all of Klal Yisroel will make it Tu B'Av together.